Take me back to Riviera Finance in 1989. You're like 25 years old, starting out. What did actually factoring look like? What kind of businesses were using factoring? And how did your role as an account executive look like?
Well, let's see, in 1989, when I started at Riviera, I was given all of the problem accounts. One of the accounts that needed some collection activity was we had a client that did a manual for Apple Computer. And Apple Computer at that time, back in 1989, was not doing so well. So my client had made a manual for Apple Computer, but Apple Computer had a lot of problems with their computer that they had been trying to sell. And when they worked out all the bugs from the computer, the manual changed. So they wanted changes made in the manual, and that's why they weren't paying. At least that's what they told us. And I had to make a visit down to Apple Computer because they didn't want to pay and we needed to get the payment for it. So I went to Apple and went to the lobby, asked for the engineer that was working on this. And he came out and I said, we need to resolve this. And, this issue is on Apple Computer. It's not on my client. You guys made changes and you need to pay for those changes to be made in your manual. But first, you need to pay for the manual. So I told him that I needed at least a third today. And he said, we can't do that. And I said, okay, well, I will go ahead and just sit in the lobby of Apple and tell everyone that walks through the door that Apple Computer does not pay their bills. And he said, you can't do that. And I said, well, would you like to see me? And I said, I'm not leaving here until you give me a third, and then we can work out the other 2/3, when you have a conversation with my client. And reluctantly, he said, okay, let me go talk to my supervisor, and went back and came back with the check, and we collected the money.